My mountain likes spaghetti. This is not a lost ring, girl. Oh, good girl. You may be dead, but your eyes are still sharp. There's no more food, Captain. No, there isn't. There's nothing going through that brain other than food. Oh, little girl. Yes, and you're a beautiful girl as well, Jess. Looking at me like a princess. Oh, good girl. Good girls. And I've got to finish cleaning that.
Has anyone here seen the new Deadpool film?
Yep.
Yeah.
Nope.
So good.
Not yet.
So good. I just saw it yesterday. You got to see it.
I saw it Saturday. It is pretty freaking good.
It is really good. Good to know then.
Yeah. I've had it from about 600 people saying it's really good, so you guys will be like 7th, 8th, and 9th. So you know it's good when you hear it from multiple sources.
Oh yeah. Especially in the same friend group.
You. Don't hit that. One and done. Two and done.
Jesus Christ. Okay, yes, I can. It's just partly this is complicated.
Yep.
What? I need to compendium.
Why's it got to be so goddamn complicated?
I need this. I should make it complicated for myself. Where the ha ha! Oh crap! It's the worst of all.
Did one of you guys make a weird noise? Because I think you just scared me dog.
What are you doing?
I don't know. I went out to the garage quickly to get something, and then I just see her come out of the kitchen with her tail between her legs, looking sorry at me, and then just scampered away into the kettles outside.
Oh wait, have I done everything but health?
I don't think so, because there is a bit of finicky fuckery with yours after all.
Yeah, but I don't know how to fucking do this piece of shit.
So I'm just double checking now that there's not something we can add to yours, because obviously you're level 8.
Right. Now heading upstairs, and my computer's already on, so I'll join back on that. So yeah, please.
but I can't. I don't want to know. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. Go away, go away, go away, go away, go away, go away, you the shit. Okay, fine.
You okay over there?
I don't know how to do this.
Okay, so looking at the raw version of the original Sage thing, between 6 and 7 there's only really spells, and on 8th level you get ability score or feat. I'm just double checking there isn't actually anything at 7.
I don't know, but apparently I shoot 2 doses at best level. I didn't know that. Oh. It's confugly.
It is Confugal.
Well, I'll have to remember that now. Rapid fucking. Okay, but how do I? You know what? Fuck it. Can't you just add my health? I'll roll it like actually the thing. I can't take this.
Yeah.
Character man's a piece of shit.
Oh, never used the character monster. Oh god, that thing's god awful.
Yeah.
Did someone say character monster?
Yes, it's god awful.
Wait. So.
Well, we never did try the roll 20 on the.
It's
What
pretty
did we?
much literally just Roll20, but on Discord. It's
Fair enough.
them streaming the site is basically the idea. Reroll the 1.
Yeah.
Alright.
Interesting. Oh.
Okay, so do you have any con? You have a lot of con. So, first one is a 5, second one is a 6. Total of a
Oh,
juicy
what
11.
coincidence.
Of course, you get your choice of ability score improve or a feat. You can decide while we are playing, because there will be plenty of time.
Yeah, fuck me. I need to do something. You need to remind me, but somebody else should do something first, so I have time. But I have to do something. Fuck, what is it I need to do?
Something.
It's something really important, actually.
Put your spells in.
Your taxes?
No, it's more important. More important.
More important than taxes?
Much more important. Fuck tax.
What respected D&D player would do taxes?
Exactly. Fuck the law.
Did you leave your mum somewhere and promise that you need to pick her up and drop her off?
Yes.
Hello, Mayo.
Mayo? It does mix well with other things, so I can see why it's quite important.
Okay. So, I do believe we have a winner and we have a loser.
Yay!
Mozilla
Who's the winner?
Firefox, tell us what happened last time on Dragon Ball D.
So, last time we woke up, we had a little time to snoop around the keep. Asta went. Okay, I'll start with the easy ones. Varnex and Karek went to the Smiths to work on their stuff. They chained Kunai and. So I forgot the other one. And Asta went to explore a little bit, go to several floors. She met a gargoyle named number 4, if I remember correctly. And apparently he was created by some guy, which I also forgot his name. But apparently he is a prodigy that tried to take the stage exams, but didn't really work out because he went somewhere else. And yeah, so we all reconvened at the square, went to a meeting with Mr. Bossman, with Mr. Prodigy, and another pretty important guy. I'm bad at names, sorry.
That's absolutely fine. There's plenty of them.
Where he essentially told us, okay, so this is the situation right now. These are our allies, these are our enemies. We need you to do this, this, and that. And we're updating your contracts. And do not talk about this, any of this, outside of this room in this forum. And that's about. Did I miss anything?
A few small nitpick bits, but it's the summation.
What Lee said.
The one important addition I will say is that there was a mention that there will be another meeting at some point soon featuring the representative of the Kenra from the Cormac cluster, who will come here and talk more about the expectations between the two groups and possibly potential troops or some kind of extra forces in around this part of the I was going to say country, it's more continent, due to the Arjuna Horde and the mercenary bands that are slowly creeping their way across to this island even as we speak, which of course isn't known to you yet, but it's assumed at least on Carrick's part. And yeah, hopefully you get a military alliance, as it seems to be what Reginald is being pushed towards getting prepared for, as at the moment, just as one group, and with Theron barely landing a foot on the continent, you don't have much to help you at the moment. You need allies, you need people to fight alongside you, and, well, deter enemies from just pushing their way through. Seemingly the Arjunum Horde, now that they've been reinforced with seemingly new technology, new people, new ideas, they are pushing the hyena-like folk of the Laughing Hands back, who were once the only other force on this continent to contest them in their power. And if they stop pushing them back into their place, even for a second, and the Arjunum Horde is allowed to run free, they will run straight into Kenra territory and start a war that won't end. You were loosely each talking about maybe entering the Orcan territory, finding those of high enough status, quo, and forcing your position. Outside of that, it's pretty much just very A to Z. The whole idea you have at the moment is that Reginald is becoming more of a military leader. The Dignitary is a subsidiary to that, but they are still very much a group of learning, though they may be called on in times, if a war does occur, to prepare instruments of war and possibly even partake in wartime effort, which is something for Asta to think about as well, as you are a clear-cut member of the Dignitary. Whether or not you want to stick around and help them in such a perilous stake is up to you, or to stick to what you were meant for. But as a general warning, and as note, because you as a character are intelligent, you would know that the kind of work they would then be doing would probably lead them to these wartime areas, and if you're not part of the wartime effort, you might not be allowed to go with them anymore, even under the guise of learning, as unless you sign the new contract, you won't be under the employ of Reginald. And if you're not under the employ of Reginald, who is doing this in a militaristic way in the future, yeah. But I suppose that's something for you to figure out in the future, if you choose not to sign. So, it will get to the point where you guys have most parts of the rest of the night, which isn't much, you've got maybe a couple of hours before it hits midnight. A lot of the underground is currently flooded with people. Underneath the buildings, the basement, is people enjoying some drinks, having some merriment, and otherwise just continuing about their day, knowing nothing about what you've spoken of. And as though it's been stated already, you have all been told not to repeat anything that you have spoken of down there outside of that room. However, if you choose to speak coyly about it to each other, that's maybe a different thing, as long as specifics aren't stated. So, you have all just finished the meeting. Reginald and Elise, those two figures, have all left. You each are stood in front of the meeting room door. What do you want to do? What do you say to each other?
Outside of character, that's a good question. Well, I suppose that's meeting adjourned.
Yes, indeed. I requested Reginald for a place to conduct experiments.
Yes.
And I'm gonna go see if he gave that to me.
The meeting would have barely been like 5 minutes finishing. More than likely he would have prepared something tomorrow. As it is...
Right now.
I want it.
If somebody's doing something else, throw them out. Give them a call. So this is I am about to do is important. Anyway, yeah.
I'll sort of walk up to Britt and I'll just say, did you get any of that, or were you more or less just nodding?
He's currently scratching underneath his chin a little bit. I understood in the literal sense. I'm kind of sad to think about my people giving into a wartime, because it is entirely something we would do, but we've always had respect for combat. Them going straight to just hurting everybody out of the sake of hurting them, doing it for sport, is not too far from what they would do, but I don't know. It's just all so... it's all so stupid. We used to fight the Laughing Hands, and win, often, but it was constant back and forth. We were satisfied and they had bodies for their blood gods. It was a weird back and forth that worked. But now they want to attack the rest of the island for nothing. In my lands we didn't need much, and don't get me wrong, it's not a good place, but you have purpose, you have food, you have family, but now they just want to kill everything. What's the point of that?
I hate to say it, mate, but it's beginning to look like it's the same everywhere, no matter what race you are. You're bound to have one good ideology passed down to someone else, and someone else, well, has their own ideas, and other people get a bit war-thirsty. And with war-thirsty, you get greedy for territory, you get greedy for resource. You start to, well, as someone once told me, a saying, a bit too big for the boots.
Why not just wear smaller boots?
It's a saying, I never really got it myself, but to the actual meaning of what he was saying, different powers,
more power you get, the more greedy you are, the more you want. Even though you're quite nice and you're quite satisfied with what you have, and you're more or less got plenty of resource to, well, grow things and keep things in moderation. But such is life.
I didn't say it during the meeting. It seemed everybody was talking big words and there was just no reason. But one point I have to make is there is nobody bigger in the clans than the Mother Superior Ingra. She tells the clans how to act. She is as old as any of the orcs can be. She is eternally wise and one with the world, but I can't believe that she would condone any of this. It is confusing. She has always been on the singular focused path, and now everybody is running wild and doing, and he's kind of like throwing his arms around as if he's trying to like make a point.
Well, that's going to change the power.
Impossible.
Stranger things have happened. But the thing I get and the thing that I've seen from personal experience, you go from one dynamic with a group / a continent to suddenly one little sprinkle, one little stir of a problem or a change to change a individual's outlook, or even, well, in other cases, change of leadership can change a whole dynamic of a group.
You see, he is like scratching to the point of irritation underneath his chin now, and you kind of just keep on hearing these like exacerbated like sighs. And
I'm just going to pat him on the shoulder and just say, I wouldn't think about it too much. Think about it in small doses. Because if you think too much, it's going to drive you crazy. It drove me crazy. I see any advice I can give you, mate. But as regards of figuring out what is going on that front, we need to do a little bit of digging. A little bit of exploring and finding answers.
Maybe I should go and check. You already wanted to send someone onto that side, and he holds his arms out and then motions to himself. I am one of them.
This is true, and as good incentive as it is, I'd probably say let yourself rest for the night. Think in small doses on it, and I think we need to hatch a plan regarding of you going forward with this, because remember, people have seen you with us, and it's not it's possible, and it might not be, but there could be informants here leaking information. You could say I'm paranoid, but I've been there and done that. So you going alone necessarily right here, right now, without sleeping, you could be walking into an ambush. Whereas if you sleep and allow us time to think of a plan and maybe come with you, but stop part way and wait for you to either go through or somehow observe you from afar, I'm sure we could hatch up a pretty nifty plan.
He nods a little. You see he's still processing something underneath it all, but seems to go with it.
I sort of look to the other two and just say, what are your thoughts on this? Don't jump at me all at once. I just asked, I said, what do you two think, looking to Varnex and Sol?
Well, I mean, this whole war is not really my... Yeah, you know me. I'm not an expert in all of this warfare. I just take care of myself. So I'll just try to help the best I can, and, you know, I'm not too big into politics or wars, really. I just like to see new places, new cultures.
Please. I'm sure we've travelled long enough for myself to know you're not exactly the all-star fighter, warmonger type. I thought I'd get your perspective on, for the sake of, well, outside-the-box thinking, because you do seem to be the expert on that matter.
Well, yes, thank you. But on this matter, it seems like a pretty simple equation. More allies, easier time.
Mm.
And yeah, if people want to, sometimes, from what I saw and what I heard, it doesn't always have to make sense. That's just how it goes sometimes, you know. Some outside intervention, someone with a lot of power gone cuckoo, and everyone just follows. So I guess we need to find what exactly happened and how to stop it. You know, well, of course, trying to have as little casualties as we can. Mainly for us, but you know.
And what about you, Varnex? What are your thoughts on all of this?
He stares deeply out into space,
Into your
his
soul.
eyes gazing at the stars, all the cosmos through his
Not
eyes.
the stars.
Why
He's
not?
having a mental conversation with his BFF dragon.
Big as fucking dragon. Yeah, get you.
Now, throughout the whole meeting, the conversation, Varnex has just been having like an internal monologue, like he's thinking like what's going on now with his personal matters. And after Carrick has been like going Varnex is like, what? Yes,
You
yes,
good?
clearly war's to be avoided. But joining the expedition is a means to an end. I need to think. I'm going back to the blacksmiths. And Varnes just leaves, just goes straight back to the blacksmith to distract himself and continue his work.
I sort of look to Sol and I just say, do you have any insight on that? Or is that just me feeling like something's amiss?
I don't know. I mean, I get it. We didn't sign up for this, you know. Sign up to go to a place, do a thing, and come back. This way over our pay. from up until now, you know.
Mm.
So I understand if someone doesn't like want to do it, and now I'm having second thoughts myself, you know.
I wouldn't say it's that. There's something more than that.
Uh, I
It's
can read his
something.
mind, but it's rude. I'm not gonna do that, you know.
Yeah, I was going to say I wouldn't exactly try to invade the guy's personal space because, well, I've seen him practically bludgeon countless people with his fists and his feet, and
Mm-hmm.
he's got a whole new arsenal of weaponry, so I wouldn't exactly go try probing into a guy's mind who seems stressed and, well, has that sort of expertise. But I'd probably say it might be an idea to keep a bit of a close eye because I sort of look to Brick when I say this and then look back to Sal. It's normally when people have a lot on their mind and they still go out with a lot on their mind. They normally tend to make the most rash decisions, and it seems to be the one they regret the most.
Yep. Or maybe I just need to go and process everything, you know.
Hmm.
But I guess we'll see.
Well, I
It is quite,
suppose,
you have to admit that this is quite a lot to take in.
of course, it is. But I'm just more casual with it because, well, I'm just used to being a mark.
Mm.
I've been through the wars, I've been through battlefields, and I've been paid. I've explored, I've tactically surveyed places for ambushes, and I've been this. So I probably feel I'm a lot more casual with it, but with you guys, not as well. A bit green to this sort of matter. But I will just say this. If you feel that this might be a bit too much, I'd think about your options, because there is plenty here, from what I'm seeing. But other than that, I'm still going to more or less see what I can be useful for, get paid, do what I can to improve on myself, and try and make connections, and hope my worst fears don't come true just yet. Then I need to mentally prepare myself.
Mm. Since so. Yeah.
But it's getting late, so I'd say we
Yeah.
grab a drink or two and stop this talk for the time being and think about it on another day.
Sounds like a plan.
So,
Of course.
as you, Brick, and Sol finish a conversation about the unique circumstance and head to the little basement drinking hall and get a couple of drinks in you. Asta, where are you going?
Well, the goal is right here,
Mm-hmm.
so I'll walk up to him.
He was, as you first walked out and left the others to talk, you could see he was like wearing a hole in the tiles in the floor, pacing back and forth, writing in his notes, mumbling. Like, carry the one, and then if the device happened to fall apart in the second section, so he starts scribbling even more heavily.
Go.
And then carry the 1 and the 4, and if the
Go.
negatives happen to fall apart, it wouldn't work. I need more energy for the devices.
Earth to go. Hello.
What? Hello, sorry. Closes his book, shoves the quill back into one of his pockets. I was in a world of my own. How was the meeting? How long has it been finished?
About as long as it lasted, I'd say.
Okay. Yeah, how I'm assuming you can't really tell me the contents, given I couldn't hear a thing from the other side of the door.
Not specifically. However, I will need your assistance with something.
Something interesting, judging your demeanor.
Something very, also morally dubious.
Oh, I'm not. Um, actually, no. I am slightly intrigued by that. What? Should we walk and talk, or is this more of a get there
We
and talk?
No, we will walk and talk.
Okay,
Most of
thanks.
the essentials. The big thing is I've requested a laboratory for us. Anything will do. We just need somewhere where we are a bit more discreet. We'll need our tools, of course.
Of course, I have them currently loaded in a secure little cell, but not literally a cell, but next to our rooms. Should we just deal with that tomorrow?
Yes, as fast as possible when we get the room for it. Do you remember the specimen?
He thinks for a second, then his eyes are raised and he goes, "Yes, that."
It seems that further testing will be required, and I think we will have an extremely fortuitous, multi-beneficial, real-life test that we could possibly put into work. Under safe measures, of course.
He strokes his chin a little bit as he starts thinking about it. His eyes slowly eke toward the corner of his vision. And you see he thinks about it, tries to follow your pattern, but meets your gaze again. I see. Okay. You have me very curious.
I thought I would. You might be one of the first people who would ever see such an event occur. Less than that, you'd be one of the maybe only to take notes.
If I were more of a Neanderthal, I would be drooling right now at the prospect.
I imagine so.
Oh, I'm going to eat so many muffins tonight. They're sort of
Yes.
my cheat food.
I know. I do. Really know. On that note, let us proceed. I
Yes.
would like to discuss some of the details with you, exactly what I have in mind.
Indeed, I'm ready. Flicks the book open, almost like professionally, and it folds exactly to a blank page. And he pulls the quill ready, and he'll start walking with you. If you want to
Yes.
say it aloud now, or if you want to type it to me and then stuff, that's up to you.
Oh, yeah, sure, I will. I mean, the first, I mean, I guess it's going to be a small tour. The first thing is I'm just going to make sure that Reginald will give us a room.
Mm-hmm.
And secondly, I told him this, that he should come by said place when he gets the time for it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's about it. Yeah,
Okay.
sure. I can type too. I'll just type too. Yeah.
So, next on the list then is Kerbal Space Program. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Nice.
So after, yeah,
Oh yeah, no, go ahead.
yeah, go. No, you go.
No, you go. No, you go. Yeah. Long story short,
Okay.
you, of course, go to the smithy. There are people in there at the minute, the same two people you met before. At the minute, it seems like he is literally in there for the sake of looking over one of the weapons he's made. As you come walking along, he raises his good eyebrow. The patch still on the other, as you know it's some kind of device he uses right now. He seems to have gotten used to using one side of the face with the other covered. He steps aside and does a full, like, joking curtsy to say it's all yours. Walks over to his, this big sword he's got on the table that has these weird, zigzaggy lightning-like, but almost like word-shaped runes that are carved into the side of the blade. And he kind of like holds it up with these gloves, and you can see it's still got this little tinge of smoke that's coming off of it when it touches the gloves, but they don't seem to disintegrate or anything. It just seems to singe a little bit. And he looks at it, gives it a little whew, and then hovers it over to the Gith you saw before. But what do you do?
I immediately go back to making more of the chain and melting down the steel and everything and hammering it. And as he's working, he hammers, and then slowly, gradually increases to angry hammering.
After a couple of blows, you hear, "Whoa, hold on. You're gonna break your chains over there if you keep on hammering like a madman. Come here." Griffin the Firbolg walks over, kind of like very slowly, like tenderly, like places a hand on your shoulder and takes one of the links of the chains and holds it up and looks at it and goes, "Oh, close enough. Now, I can tell you're quite obviously going through something. Nobody really anger bangs a chain anymore. It's not really useful. Take your time. Breathe. He looks you up and down, looking at your outfit for the most part, like that's something you're used to. And go slowly. If you are not careful, you can damage the chain links. And then the second you try to whip this thing around, it's going to fall apart on you when you least need it to. So, slowly." He then releases the chain, kind of takes a step away from you.
Alex doesn't say a word to him. He just looks at him, and when he goes, "By the looks of you, you breathe," his eyes just narrow. Then just takes the chain back and just gets back to work on it. And let's just say he's trying to keep his cool, but his hands are shaking a little with rage.
Make a charisma saving throw.
Chain breaks.
Yeah. So, in this welling of anger, there's a sudden intense amount of strength that surges through you in this sheer pulsing of energy, and the anger roils. It's to the point you feel your heartbeat stomping heavily in your chest, to the point it's trying to break free, and this energy all coalesces into this grasp as you're holding onto the chain, the slightly less than perfectly linked part of the chain. One of the rings snap in half with the tensity of your grip, and you just hear the chains crash against the ground, and you come to focus again for barely a second. As you look down at the ground, you see this one half moon shape of a ring in your hand, and you see the rest of the link on either side has fallen to the ground, clattered. You just suddenly become fully aware of the quiet around you.
With a broken chain, Varnix just chucks the chain on the ground and just goes, "Damn it!" And he's just taking a few moments to breathe.
You see Griffin behind you. Doesn't say anything at first, but he turns around, pulls out a small box from underneath the table in front of him, clatters it on the table. You just start to hear rifling sounds of like steel and small trinkets and little bolts, and it's like rifling through, and then pulls out this small series of linked chains and slowly drags it and lets it coil onto the ground in front of him. And as it clatters onto the ground in front of him, he nudges it very slightly over so that you can see the edge, the end of the coil, and if you look at him, you'll see he points his head down toward it, and then he walks off. As he walks off, you see he kind of slaps the Gith on the back, and the pair of them just leave the room.
Alex is going to go over to, just slowly walk over to where the chain he dropped is, just pick it up and just hold it.
It's a little worn, and parts of the chain will probably have to be smoothed out, because you can see it's not been used in a while. There are like weird like shavings of it where it's been discolored, and possibly been used. But as long as you like buff it out or shave it off, it'll still be as strong, as taut as it was when it was first created. But it's about 5 feet less than you need, so the rest you'll have to still do yourself. But this gets you back to where you were. Or you could try attach this link to yours.
Varus is just going to look at the chain that he's picked up and back to his. And is the box still there that he got it out from?
Yeah. You can see assortments of little like screws that are bent out of shape, and a couple of like clearly what looks to be like failed attempts of his own, where there are a couple of rings that have like these chips in them. Some of them that are like bent out of shape. Some of them are literally like weirdly like twirled, so they look like an S. They seem to be some kind of box of failures. And you seem to be holding the one that succeeded.
Right. Varix knows that the chain comes from a good place, and he means goodwill, but he's going to put the chain back in the box, put it back where it was, put his chain back to the side, and just go and just leave the blacksmith and try and find Sir Reginald.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So we have our triage drinking below, Asta regaling her companion, and you head to Reginald's quarters, which would be in the central left building usually, near the top floor. As you head up the steps, one by one, not having been there before, but you get directions easily. Eventually you come upon the I'll just say top floor for now, I'll change that later if it's not the case, but eventually come across the top floor. His room has a double set of doors, looks to be wider than the other rooms here. These are rooms fit for the hierarchy, the higher ups like Elnalise and himself, and possibly dignitary members of a higher standard. As you get to the top of the stairs, there are 2 guards stood there, full plate mail, with a slight bluish hue across them. Helms cross their heads with what looks to be like a slit upwards, and something of a like cross symbol, just it doesn't have the top part. They have spears in hands. They are quite evidently blocking the way. You see these 2 oh, why did my brain suddenly go to rot? Anyway, two bars, 2 gates to the left and right of them. They look down toward you as you start walking up. You appear familiar, but if you wish to cross the threshold, we will need to see your identification.
Do I have an identification?
You should do. Each of you have been given a form. Let me just double check. Still your sheet. You don't appear to have it on yours, so I'll just quick at it.
I think we were meant to get them after the meeting or something.
Ah, well, either way then. This will do it then.
Because I do remember you saying at some point we'll be needing to collect their
Yes.
forms, which will be given to us.
Yes.
Could I say I'm here to collect my identification?
Yeah. So, as you say that, the pair kind of turn and look at each other for a second, then back at you. One of them turns around, the other one sits centrally on the staircase, blocking the path, of course. The one that walked off walks toward the end of the hallway where you can see looks to be the widest room, knocks on the double set of doors, and you can quietly hear him speaking across the hallway. So Reginald, we have someone here, Dragonborn, who says they're here for their identification. A couple of seconds go past and the door slowly ekes open. You see Reginald's out of his usual regalia and is currently in more common clothes, though saying common is not saying like peasant garb, it's quite
Fancy leather.
quite clear cut cloth, well worn but well maintained. He has small amounts of like lines.
Cloth with no stains.
Yeah, it's been patched up in some small places, but you can just barely tell. And as he walks forward, you see he speaks quietly to the guard in return, and then he looks across the hallway, says something to the guard, and makes a hand motion as if to say, "Go ahead." And then he opens the door too. The guard looks over toward you and motions you to come over. The other guard is watching. He steps out of the way and lets you pass. Both guards return to the stairs as you walk past. Ah, Varnex, my dear boy, what can I do for you? I don't believe it is just your ID you're here for. Otherwise you wouldn't have need to come all this way. But nonetheless, pulls out a pure, like, actual physical card that has a perfect face plate of your image on one side and general details about you and nothing important, just height, weight, sex, race, yada yada yada, the basic who are you thing, and what your job is, which basically says mercenary essentially. But it has these two little stars attached next to the mercenary part. He passed the card to you.
How good is the like photo ID?
It's pretty good. Like, as you look at it, at the minute the hallway itself has very dim light, so you can't see too well. You have to like push it closer to the light, but it's actually a pretty flattering image, to be fair.
Impressive considering. Yeah. Either way, back to business. Reginald, I want to know more about the Jinsei here. You said he had spies. Do you have a good head count as to how many of them there are here?
You mean on our side or observing us? Because they're rather different questions.
In total.
Well, far as my head count has been aware, and thanks to Urias being forthwith, I believe, at least in the keep, there is around about 12, possibly a few more. But, to be fair, I am counting the members of the Jinsei themselves. So...
On the island?
No, in the keep. Members of the Jinsei physically here, as well as the ones I know of that are not showing themselves in their regalia, that are either attempting to hide, and I have been informed, or that I have learned of. personally speaking.
So somewhere here in the keep right now.
Yes. And don't worry, I'm fully aware of their goings and general dealings with my people here. It would appear they have nothing more than making sure we're not attempting a coup against them.
What do we know about the hierarchy here on the island?
You mean the Jinsei's hierarchy? Because
Who are the generals here? The captains, the people in charge?
you will
What do
need
you
to
know?
be specific, because this is quite a longer conversation otherwise.
Do they have any dragonborns here with them?
The Jinsei? Not that I've been informed of. They are something of a honoured species, so I don't think they would bring them here unless they deemed it necessary. Why, what brings this line of questioning?
Honest looks back and just goes, nothing, just family matter. And he just walks off.
He doesn't say anything in return until you get close to all the stairs. And then he goes, "Oh, yeah, Varnex, if you wouldn't mind, just one moment." He disappears back into the room, comes back out a couple of seconds later, and you see he has a couple more cards in his hand. He has one for each of you and for Brick. "If you wouldn't mind distributing this among your friends." And walks into the hallway and places them slowly into your hands.
I take the cards. I smile and go, of course I can. And put up a good show.
He nods. He kind of just stares into your eyes for a moment, and then just nods again. Turns around, walks back toward his room. "Good night, Varnex."
Good night. It's a night at the moment.
It is getting to it. Yeah.
Getting to it. Okay then. So as he leaves Reginald, learning that there are Jinsei here in the keep, given the time of day, chances are likely in barracks or the tavern. So Varnis is going to start heading towards where the tavern is.
Okay. So, using the map easily, as you walk into the tavern, there is immediately a single Jinsei soldier, full regalia. He isn't hiding who he is. He's currently sat at a table, talking to a villager and a guard. On the other table you have not the same members of the mercenary group. You have members of the group, but they're also sat there, currently just enjoying some drinks together, and yeah, they're not even wearing weapons. The Jinsei, he has a weapon at his hip, but you know with this place, it's not exactly... It's not disallowed to carry your weapons, otherwise you also would have been caught at the gate by now. So yeah, what do you want to do? There is of course the basement tavern as well that you could go to.
I'm just going through my notebook, but my notebook is a mess to try and remember that guy's name. That's just on my left.
Edric?
Screw it, my notebook is a mess.
Edric?
This guy here in blue.
Mm-hmm.
Edric, is that his name?
Yeah.
Yeah, my notebook is a mess I couldn't find.
Hey, you've got notes. I'm already cool.
Yeah, like I write a page of notes and then I just write like other stuff for other means. Basically, it's not organized well. It's just a notepad of mishmash and stuff. Okay, so Edric.
Yes.
Okay, Edric. Okay then. Okay.
Is that
I'm just gonna go over to Edric, and I do remember how we met him. He was in pain and stuff like that. I go over. So, Edric, how are you? But I'm only gonna be like half paying attention to what he's saying, and in my peripheral, I'm gonna keep an eye on the Jinsei just down here, and see if I hear anything
okay?
out of the conversation if he's talking to them, while also trying to half listen to Edric.
Make a perception check. More so for focus.
Perception.
So, Edric's eyebrow raises. Hey, it's been a little while. What he kind of seems to. He looks you up and down, and almost very much like immediately, he just says, Are you okay? You've got kind of a vibe about you at the moment." Meanwhile, on the other table, you kind of just about catch words every now and again. There is a little bit of music playing in the background coming from the basement. Not enough to like drown him out or anything, but the sounds of the mercenaries and the sounds of them talking, it's all kind of like enveloping into one. You kind of like try to focus on the mouth of the Jinsei and formulate what you see into the words you can hear, and it's kind of working. You get an odd word every now and again, something about liking the food here, and not being too sure if he was going to get company tonight or something in that vein. All you can hear is just the sound of Edric trying to get your attention to your left as well, but it's all kind of this muffled like, and then you feel a hand on your shoulder kind of like push you very lightly.
Is it Edric that pushed me?
Yeah, there's this light like shoulder like nudge.
Okay. Yeah. I just go, Oh, yeah. Meetings, everything, business is just getting a little bit stressful here, apparently. A lot of stuff is going about. Anyway, how have you been since we first saw you? Healing up okay? I'm sure he's already like fully healed just like a long time ago.
Yeah, you can see like for the half
Emotionally.
second, oh yeah, emotionally he's crippled, but you can see like he does this sudden little like tap dance for a second, and he goes, "Well, as fit as a fiddle with a broken leg, so I'm okay." But again, what's going on with you? You're clearly not all here right now. I can literally see it.
Yeah, a lot has happened. Unfortunately, I'm not allowed to talk about it.
Oh.
Reginald's orders.
Oh. Gone is the day for me, I suppose. Well, if there's I mean, I don't really. If there's anything you need, you can let me know. Sort of equivalent to Grunt at this point, but I'm here if you need me. We did fight side by side once.
I appreciate it.
You're hearing.
It's good to see you.
You're hearing this low, like, yeah. So, I came here with Urias. I don't know if any of you guys have met my troop yet. There's some good guys. There was a weird thing with a I think you call it a dinosaur. Yeah, eating its kids. Some people came along and had saved it, and it was inspiring, to be honest. It's one of the reasons why I think a lot of us came here. You know, at first there was some talk about a poor trade and an attack, and there was a little bit of concerns of a fight happening between us, and you see the man points toward the guard and your friends here, but luckily things were made a bit respite. Is that the word? And the guard kind of just like throws his hands up like, no, but we understand the idea. Anyway, it's good to see you. Thanks again for the dagger, by the way. You see the guard like holds up this ornate dagger that's kind of like curved. Really appreciate. But you know, tell us more about your food. You said something about these buns. What do you call them? And then you kind of pick up the theme of the conversation very quickly. Is more lax, and it's pretty much just low level in general. But quite evidently, he was talking about you to some extent just now. Though, even though you're in the room, it seems like he wasn't one of the people present when you guys had dealt with the dinosaur and its child.
Okay. Anyway, Anyway, I should be off. I need to give these to the others, and I'm just holding up the identity cards.
Yeah. I'll see you around. I think we're going to the field tomorrow, so might be a couple of days again. But good luck, Merlix.
Good luck to you. Till next time. I'm gonna head down. Then I head downstairs. Where is it? Through here?
Through there.
Yeah, that's not...
I will drag you. Boop. Boop.
Making my way in.
Making my way.
Should we move them there? Because we're still at the meeting room.
I mean, you guys aren't there. You don't need to move there.
Are these barracks?
Mm-hmm. They seem to be a like temporary additional barracks. There are a bunch of barrels in there, but this place seems to be just spare accommodation. You see one
The guy in there.
He is a Jinsei.
Yeah.
He's not fully wearing the regalia. He only has like a red shirt on with the sort of like chain links around his arms and chest. Seems like he was just taking the armor off. You can see it bundled on the floor, placed very neatly. A sword resting gently against the wall. As you walk in, his head turns slightly, looks over toward you. Similar to most of the other Jinsei, his hair is tight in a bun, it's ponytailed outward. Looks over toward you, his eyes kind of lax, as if he's incredibly tired. He just stares for a second, and then...
Is there like an old customary Theron greeting or something, or some term?
I would say in the case of this, it's kind of like you make a totem with both fists. And then there's a like low enough bow, but not so low that you're bowing below your station or above your station. The totem is a general greeting between people from Theron. In the case of you, because of what you are, but because you're not of a great stature in Theron, or at least as far as people know, they would just bow lower to you, if they knew what you were. But in this case, it's just both of you lower your head slightly, and totem with fists.
Alright. So, I'll do that greeting and just go, apologies. I was looking for my comrades. I assumed they would hear. I didn't mean to interrupt you. And I'm hoping my regional courtesy would spike something.
As you do the greeting, his lazed eyes suddenly like blink open, slightly wider. He stands with almost an urgency and almost a mixture of respect and joy in his face suddenly. You see he goes from weary and tired to suddenly a minor bit of spike in energy. He does the same, and you see he bows a little bit lower, never enough to lose your gaze, but enough that it's clear signs of respect for you as what you are. Apologies if I was aware someone of your stature was to arrive here. I would have cleaned the bunks far better. Your companions, who might you be searching for?
Just some friends. Come, Rise. Respect is earned. You barely know me. I'm sure there are other dragonborns you're familiar with who have definitely earned your respect.
Of course, but nonetheless, there is a variety of respect given by each member of each family. Mine is always honored to be in the presence of one, such as yourself. Never have we been shamed in your presence.
You must be familiar with other dragonborns.
Not as much as I wish, but I have seen a few. Is there something you desire in this place?
I'm just trying to think of what to say. Why don't you just turn to... There we go. No, nothing. As I said, I was looking at my friends. They appear not to be here. I'm sorry to disturb you. And as he turns to go away, he then turns back and goes, actually, perhaps you can help me. As you were, I'm a rich...
Yes,
As...
a slight raised eyebrow for a second, but then it quickly controls itself.
As you can see, I am originally from Theron. However, I left from quite a young age. And the truth is, I've actually lost touch with a very old family friend. Perhaps you can help me. Are you familiar with another red dragonborn, name of Drahuda?
I'm gonna do a check.
This guy knows nothing. I'm guessing with a 3.
So you see his eyes do kind of scan the room for a second, as if he's trying to find some inspiration. He strokes his naked chin. You see these multitudes of different feelings across his face, but then he moves his hand back down, both hands toward his sides. I'm afraid to say no, though there is something about the name that sparks familiarity. There was a red dragon I met once who had a similar name that's Druhara, but I'm not sure if it is a similar name, a similar person to whom you speak, or if it was just coincidence. They were a family friend in my youth.
An old family friend.
Yes, I cannot say much in terms of the age, as the expectancy is different, but he was probably about middle age for my lifetime.
I raise one hand and go, as I said, it was a long time ago. Times have changed and so do people. Thank you for your time.
And you yours.
I doubt there's like another... Actually, there's no need to bow on the way out. I'll just go,
No.
wave my hand, just leave. Bye.
So yeah.
In a general manner.
So we're next. There is still more to the basement.
What, across here?
Nope. Behind all the barrels.
Oh, I did not see the door. Wait, there's a door behind all these barrels?
Mm-hmm.
I assume the barrels are blocking the door.
They are indeed. You can see roughly the outline of a door just above the barrels. Your ever favourite shopkeeper, Kiara, just kicks back on her chair a little bit. So, what you doing, little Varney?
Excuse me?
Oh, come, we're playful friends by this point. What you looking for? You seem curious about the door over there.
Little, why is it barred off with these barrels?
Maybe for a reason. Maybe it leads somewhere you're not supposed to go. Or at least not from this side. Maybe I'm tricking you. Maybe I have the key, who knows?
Do you have the key?
Maybe.
Inside check.
Go for it. There's enough of a coy smile, and there's that shy bit of deceptiveness you've sort of come to know out of her. She's slightly trickstery, but you feel as if she's not lying. But there's still that something there that kind of twinges like maybe she is.
Is that supposed to be your shop in there?
Huh? Oh god, no. That's just the passageway around to the other parts of the basement. You've got the barrel room, which you can access from above, and then you've got the cells. So it goes to stand that you can't just walk in there. And they barreled this
Cells
place
are
off.
down here?
What?
Cells are down here?
Yeah? Where do you think they keep the bad things that come in? They're not
I
just...
didn't expect them to be that close to the tavern.
Well, I mean, that's why they bar most of it off, and only allow you to go in if you got a key. And or are dragging people around into it. That's the whole point of a cell. You're not supposed to let people run free.
The difference between letting people out and people in.
True. But some of us wouldn't be doing our jobs if we just willy-nilly, and then she pulls out a set of keys and starts swinging them around her finger. Let people, you know, wander about with keys they shouldn't have. You hear
Job,
them
are you
jangling.
the official ward?
Oh no, I'm just very trusted.
Mm-hmm.
How else would I have gotten
By
all
the
of
way.
these?
By the way, thank you so much for this, and I'm holding up my ring of invisibility.
Hey,
That creation is very useful.
hey, that was all you in the box. Which, by the way, I've not got it on my person, so if you're hoping to get lucky again, you know.
Something tells me it would be a bad habit to get into.
Oh, yes. One guy put his hand in once and had his finger bitten off. It was really funny, because he paid me to have his finger bitten off.
Charming.
To be fair, he was an asshole. So, I think that was just karma. So, what you wanting to go into the cells for? Assuming that's where you want to go next.
I wasn't aware they were cells until you just told me now.
Call it a freebie.
But and Varnis is just gonna lean on the wall just next to him, like nonchalantly. Out of curiosity, are anyone in the cells right now?
She shrugs.
Come on, you can tell me. I want to try and do a charisma check.
Make a persuasion check.
Yeah, she's not into dragons.
She just shrugs again. I don't know. Could be.
With my heightened senses, could I faintly hear anything?
Make a perception check. However, it will be difficult. So you kind of like lean against the wall and try to listen. And there is this very meager breakthrough, but nothing substantial. Or you hear footsteps loosely, but it's not from the wall behind you, it's coming from the door below you, but it's not directly behind the door. It's like whatever that path is carries sound pretty well, but you can kind of hear footsteps, but beyond that you're not too sure.
Alright, so people are in the cells. That is interesting. And the door is completely blocked by barrels.
Yup.
It's in people's line of sight. Alright. He's going to stop leaning on the wall and go, I should be on my way. And thank you again so much for this.
You're welcome.
And again, he's playing to the ring. And as he leaves, the moment he's out of eye shot from people, Jesus, people everywhere.
Yep.
Here we go. Rub the ring, I go invisible.
Okay.
And I start snooping.
Let me just tag with that. There you go. So
And how long does it last? Is it an hour?
it's as long as the spell itself, so I think Ring of Invisibility. Ooh. So
1 hour.
yeah.
Oh, it's an hour, okay. Alright, I'm just going to try and snoop around the basement and see if there's another way into the cells.
Okay. Make a perception or investigation check.
Perception or investigation? Investigation 0. Perception 3.
Not bad. So, in the barrel room with all the ingredients and the like, there's no direct access to any other areas outside of breaking the walls themselves. So that's one room.
What about above ground, above where the tavern is?
So, let me just double check that myself. From there. That leads there. You know there is another staircase that leads downstairs that leads on to here. This area is mostly currently unused. You see assorted tools that look like they're for digging and general excavation. There are a couple of support pillars placed along the walls. As you see, some of it's a little unsteady, but not enough to really stop people coming down here. You see there's low light lighting the place. Feel free to have a little look around. While you have a look around, I'm gonna just check something real quick on the side.
Do you want to go back to Carrick and Soul? Because I need to go to the toilet and I need to refill my drink.
Okay.
Hey.
So, you two.
Yes,
You,
us too.
you two having a drink downstairs.
We need to move downstairs.
Yes.
Think.
Character-wise, my guy's never been down there.
Yeah, you have.
That's right. No, he
I
did not. Varnix brought him drinks from.
Yeah.
True. She actually, yeah. Oh.
So I'm gonna go in. Let me show you though. Here, I'm gonna go to Miss Bartender lady.
I love this right now that Varnex is like, let me show you the ropes. Like Carrick's never walked into a bar before.
Yeah, but this is a special one.
But I'm not. This is just all outside of outside of character. So, you know.
As you walk up to the bar, same bartender. Oh, hello there, love. You're back. Well,
Yes.
what is that spicy little bit of meat you got over there with you this time?
Oh, that's a friend. He didn't come. Kind of sick, but now he's up for a drink.
Hmm.
Got anything you recommend to him?
Oh, nothing that I wouldn't
Oh, you
drink
want him to
myself.
come over?
Oh, yes. If he's got coin, he should definitely coming over. I'll give him a few drinks. Maybe some on the
Uh,
house.
I'm going to signal to Carrick, like, get your ass over here.
Okay, I sort of like talking to Brick, just general conversation, just random shit, and just see you nod over, and I'm just like, right, be right back. I'm being called over, and
And I'm
I
going
sort of
to
like
say,
walk over.
I'm
I'm
gonna
gonna
tell the
I'm gonna step by
bartender.
here.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell the bartender. And for me, for me and for my fellow friend, the usual, please.
She nods. Prepare some drinks, and for the most part, our eyes kind of keep drifting back to Carrick.
I sort of look to you as you say the usual, and I just say, the usual? You've only been here once.
Oh,
Hey, I live
once.
an impression.
Once is
I
all
can't
you
see.
need, darling, to make a good impression.
I hear that. I scout my left eye right over and raise an eyebrow with a smirk and just go, okay, yeah, you got a point on that one.
She
This
Then
does.
places 3 drinks down, and then you see 2 shots extra placed directly in front of Carrick that look to be this very clear brownish liquid. A little bit of something dwarven for you, just out of the kindness of my little heart.
I'm
Dwarven,
gonna
eh?
take I'm gonna take mine and Blake's drink and go over here.
Please activate me. Yes.
I sort of what was the usual? Because you said I had a drink as well as 2 shots. What was the usual drink, or is that a
Uh,
mystery to me for now?
I said the usual for me and for Blake,
Mhm.
not the usual for you. You got
Ah,
something else.
I got two shots, have I?
Yep, and some other drink that looks similar in colour, but it's a little bit darker.
I sort of look. I pick it up with 2 fingers on a thumb, and well, I'd say Carrick's probably got similar hands to me, or slightly bigger, grapher hands. So 2 fingers and a thumb is something to handle a delicate shot glass like that. I just sort of look at it, I smell it. What sort of smell is it giving off?
There's... At first it's really rough, and it reeks of alcohol to the point of burning the inside of your nose for a second, like a sucker punch to the nose. And then, for a moment, you're kind of like invigorated, and your heartbeat kind of jumps a little bit, as it kind of like kicks up some memories of probably one of very few good times with the warband, where you remember sitting around the fire, this big bottle with a couple of friends, and each of you cheersing to a good victory.
And being underage and
Oh,
being,
yeah.
being like, yeah, try it.
And then next minute, poof, you're on the ground looking up at the sky, and you just hear laughter all around you, at you, but at the same time, there's that part of you that's, maybe it was because you were drunk already, but you were also laughing because it was funny, it was fun.
Yeah. I sort of, as I give that smell and that flood of memories come to me, I sort of like, clear my throat a little bit and just go, smells a little bit like home. I'll just take the shot.
Okay, as you down it immediately, it slides down your throat like lava. It burns to fuck, but there is this kind of like almondy taste beneath it all, and as you focus on that a little bit, there is these mixed emotions where it's like, oh fuck, that's powerful, and then it's like, that's kind of nice. Oh, it's so burning. And as you're going through those mixed emotions for a second, you get this kind of like whiplash in the back of your eyes where you get a little bit blurry and a little bit teary, and then kind of shake your head a little bit.
I'm not going to let it show on my face, and I'm just gonna let out sort of like a breath out, like I've just let out fire to a degree. Not full on like me going. Just me just blowing outwards like.
There's a big grin on her face. Well, you're still standing, so I'll take that as a good sign for your to tolerance, if not your stamina.
Well, I've got both in abundance.
You'll make a girl blush.
So I've been told.
About the stamina or the girl blushing thing? Because I can work with both.
I've been told both.
Oh, confident too. We do like to see that. I got one question though. Your face says pain and life experiences. And to be honest, so does a bit of your body, but my intuition tells me you're a bit young. How old are you exactly, darling?
I sort of give her a little bit of a look, and I just raise an eyebrow and I say, "Well, you've got a point to both on that. I've been told that the face never really matches the body, but yeah. I've got a little go of my own if you don't mind. How do you think I am?"
Well, I'm gonna say it's difficult. My intuition's usually pretty good, so I'll say you're not a teenager, that's for sure, or else you wouldn't have gotten down here to begin with. I'm not gonna say you're exactly an adult to the scale of 30s. So I'm gonna put you between 18 and 22.
I'd say good barmaid intuition then.
See, the one thing that more so pushed the guarantee was I really like the look of you. You're clearly physically well done. I mean, you carry weapons like a real man. You're apparently carrying your alcohol like one. And unfortunately I have something of a vested interest in you. So it must mean you're just shy of adulthood.
Well, let's just say I've been in the company of people that like to call themselves men amongst men, but, well, normally tend to get drunk at the first few sips. And then some who actually don't actually say it, and who carry it, and who pretty much carry it. So I've learnt from the best, you could say.
Well, a champion among men it is. She takes your extra shot, takes it down. You see, there is this little bit of a moment where she kind of like twitches her neck a little bit, and then she has this like kind of rush of like a euphoria kind of thing for a second, slams the shot down and leans forward a little bit and just says, "Well, the night is long, and there's plenty of drinks to be had. Your first one is free, your next will not be. Now, let's get to know each other a little better."
Sure.
And
have at me.
There's a grin on her face for that one. The rest of the night will pretty much just go as well or as bad as you dictate it to be. There's a little bit of like flirty banter between you. It's pretty much like how you and me would be, where it's like, "Yeah, Connie, a sexy beast." It's like it's quite evident that it's there is a little bit of like she would, but at the same time it's like you're pretty sure it's getting to the joking, this is just fun between friends kind of banter at some point. Have a couple of drinks.
And also she's a barmaid, so she's bound to have that sort of customer service sort of thing as well as being jovial.
And yeah, at a certain point she comes over to the table when things get a little bit quiet. There is a few patrons in the bar. Obviously in the event of this because each of the maps are massive, I can't dictate for every token there is. There will always be more tokens on the field than there physically is. So every now and again she dips, goes back to her job, comes back, just chats with you all and speaks about general.
Any familiar faces at the bar in the form of patrons?
Every now and again you'll see maybe like one or two of the Jinsei that'll like walk by and seemingly be looking for someone and then wander off, or you'll see like Edric comes by once, grabs a bag from the barmaid over the counter and wanders off, gets a few rounds for you guys if you decide to take it, and then he wanders off. Seemingly he's got some kind of mission of his own tomorrow, so he's collecting bits and pieces. But no one that really like jumps out at you.
Fair enough. Well, by this point, I'll probably go about. We'll say, yeah, I'll buy a couple more drinks. Well, I'll buy a couple more drinks.
Aster,
Hello.
did you want to go over any of those details in character, or would you like to leave it blank?
Let's leave it blank.
Okay. So the night rolls on for them three. They enjoy a couple of drinks together with their new barmaid friend, who absolutely is getting close to you guys, and you're not 100% sure if it's like a business thing where it's like, yeah, get close to the people that are clearly going to buy more drinks, but she does seem genuinely curious about you each, and she still goes about her own business as always, selling to the rest. The night goes, eventually you finish up and head to bed. Aster and Gol communicate something. They follow through with a new little secret of their own before the night gets too dark, since they have to wait for the next day for their own chambers, their own laboratory to experiment in, shall we say. Varnix, are you there?
Yeah, I'm back.
Okay.
Okay, so look around.
Similar thing. You see these little flowers that are growing in these little pots, or growing generally around the pillars. It seems to be to give this area a bit of life and a bit of a gentle smell that isn't basically just dirt and wood.
Okay. I'm just gonna keep exploring.
And you do see a door.
Can I peek through a keyhole or anything?
But yes, as you look in, it looks like this door was made very recently, as the door itself looks to be like part of the wall, but you can see a clear like keyhole and a segment in the wall that looks to be like a window almost, but there's no glass in it at the moment. It's what looks to be like these small square segments and a cross shape. You can kind of like peek through these segments, but it's incredibly dark. There's just pitch black behind it.
So it's just dark in there.
Mm-hmm.
Do I hear anything?
Make a perception check. You don't, as of the moment. It's fairly quiet. You hear the gentle rushing of wind every now and again, but that's about it.
Alright, since I don't hear anything in there, I'm just gonna keep exploring down here. Is that the only door in this area?
Seemingly. This area is for the most part unused.
Can I investigate this wall in front of me?
Yeah, Make an investigation check. Looks like with the tools around, this area is going to be a new pathway of some kind. As you can see, like parts of the wall have been like chipped away at very thinly, as if they're trying to designate an area for the next door to go in. But for the moment, it looks like they've mostly left it untouched. But it will eventually be a new pathway.
So work is being done on this area
Mm-hmm.
to become a new door. Okay.
For the moment, it looks like the stairs and that other doorway that's been chipped in as of recently is the only location available.
Okay. I just want to... So I'm going to try and just slowly open this door, not in front of it, just on the wall.
Mm-hmm.
Just hook the wall next to it, and quietly unlatch it, and slowly let the door open. Just on the off chance there's anything on the other side.
Okay.
But there was no like tripwires or anything on the other side that I could see through, right?
Not as far as you can see.
Okay. So, slowly let the door open just ajar, and after a moment, slowly open it a little bit more.
You can open the door, by the way. Like, on the map, I mean.
Alright.
So, yeah, as you walk through. For the sake of context, the reason you can see is because the map is bright. It'll happen. But because as well how narrow it is, you kind of can feel your way through. In perspective, it is incredibly dark, and if it weren't for your new dark vision, you would just be blind.
Alright, I'm just making my way across, just keep an eye on traps, pressure plates, stuff like that. I don't want to trigger any alarms.
Okay. Make a investigation or perception check as you walk. Okay. So as you're walking along the path, it's pretty fresh ground. It feels not exactly comfortable in bare feet, but it feels gentle enough that you know it's clearly a newly made pathway. It's a little bit of a tight squeeze. You know that no more than one person can walk these aisles with how it currently is, but it seems like the intention wasn't to be for comfort, it was more just to get things around. Ahead of you, you come to see a mercenary sat down on one of the barrels looking up at the staircase. In this room, it's seemingly just where they keep a bunch of gear. You can't precisely tell being in there at the moment. A lot of it is fully like stuffed into barrels and cemented down. You can see a couple of what looks to be like glasses of potions in one, assortments of what looks to be like scrolls in another. This figure just sat there, is currently just scratching the back of his neck.
I'm not going to move down there, so I'll keep going. Just keep exploring.
Okay. As you turn the corner and look around, you see a locked door in front of you.
Again, is it possible to peek through? Keyhole or window or anything?
There is a small keyhole. Like the other one, there is that weird, what looks to be like groove, the shapes that look like there would be some kind of window, but it seems to have been left blocked. You can still make out the like cross-like shape where there is an intention to have a window, but they've either worked against it or they never finished it. As you lean down and peek through the window, I'll continue with your perception. I'm going to shove you through for the moment. As you look in, this is the bare amounts of what you can see. You can see figures sat down at the table. Currently, enjoying, well, let's be like card games and just general chit chat, you can kind of hear them through the keyhole as well. They're mostly speaking in a quieter voice. It's mostly just, you got any aces? Anyone got any aces? You see he turns the card around and shows an ace, and the others are just like looking through their cards, like, nah, none on mine. So it's mostly just basic. There are an assortment of cuffs and like chains and assorted metal tools in the room that you can see lying around. There are a couple of crates in there as well that are partially emptied, and a couple of the barrels are opened, and you can see what looks to be like some parts of weird like armors, and like there's nets in one of them, and these strange small fish like stink kind of wanders toward your nose the longer you're there, and it smells almost like tuna like. What do you want to do?
Can I make an educated guess and guess that those are the cells?
Presumably. It looks like a long hallway, and you have seemingly some kind of guards there.
Right. I think those are the cells, but I'm just going to keep exploring down here. Can I peek through here?
Technically, but you see what looks to be something wooden is blocking your view.
Can I hear anything?
You hear this. And that's what you get when you play cards, gentlemen. Now, you can drop either your pants or your gold, and I can give you a preference if you want.
I'm at the other side of the door blocked by barrels.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm just zooming out because this is huge.
It better be.
That takes me back. Okay, so these are the cells.
Yeah, baby.
Oh, let me think. Roughly how long has it been since I used the ring? Would it be about, what, 10-15 minutes?
Give or take. With a proper exploration. And concerning about if you trip anything.
Oh, it's very tight. I can't just open the door with guards on the other side. Just let me look at my sheet. Is there anything I've got? Yeah, I think that's all I can do right now. I don't know if I can open the door. Once I get them to open one of the doors. Alright, I'm going to try a move from an old film.
Okay.
I'm just going to... Have you ever seen Crocodile Dundee?
I have, but I don't know what you're talking about yet.
Okay. There's a scene where he just scratches the outside of the door just to get the attention of someone. Like, unsure if someone is there. So I'm just going to lightly just... like, try and get their attention so they can open the door without thinking there's anyone there. Or something, I don't know.
Okay.
Rather than just knocking.
So, as you do the little scratching sounds, they go quiet for a second, and then you hear, it's not the fucking cat again, is it? I thought we got rid of that thing. I know it smells like fish in here, but jeez. Just check the window. You see a figure come into view, and again, just for context, I'll move you You see a figure walk in front of the door. The 4 segments that look like they were just left in, you see as one of them is like pulled out, and a figure's face appears from behind one of these small segments. You get enough to see the like top right corner of his head from his eye up to the top of his helmet that he's wearing, and he like looks out and around into the darkness, and he leans back a little. Pass me the candle, please. Leans a candle over toward him, and he pulls the candle forward, and he starts shining the candle a little bit through the little hole and looks out. And you see he's basically looking at you right now, but obviously because you're invisible, he doesn't clock you immediately, and he just looks around and goes, I think it's a runaway. Go and just go and find the damn thing. She's gonna keep coming back. You see the candle retracts a little, and he goes, "Why do I have to do it? Look, you're the cat person. You go get the cat, adopt it if you want, or go give it to one of those mad lot upstairs. They'll figure out what to do with it. Or what about that druid that came in with the new lot? He might be able to sort it out somehow." Fine. You see the slot of the door is filled, where the window would be, and then you hear the shuffling of keys, and with the small
Before he opens the door, how high is this hallway?
It goes up to about like 7-8 feet. You're never going to get any giant. You're never getting any giants down here, but most people can fit down here.
But the hallway is taller than a person, right?
Yeah.
Just not
Okay.
a 7-foot person.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, what I want to do is, I want to like climb up the edges of the whole hallway, so I'm above the height of the door.
Mm-hmm.
So that way he doesn't open the door in my face.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Do you have climb speed?
Speed is just 45.
But
That's
but do you have specifically climbing? Because some races like Tabaxi, for example, have climb speed.
Oh, I don't think so, no. But
Okay.
would it help me being a monk?
Well, to be fair, that was the next order of business. Make an acrobatics check, because why not?
Acrobatics +7.
Yeah, bye.
Oh, yes. Inspiration.
Okay, go for it. Oh, very nice. You can do it again, though.
I can roll one more time.
Yeah, it's always with advantage. Okay, well, 22 anyway. So, as you hear the sound of the jangling keys and the doors slowly unlocking, you hear the sound of the door opening slowly with a weary creaking, and before it even gets to that point, you've jumped up, kicked one foot on the wall, pushed yourself back enough, pushed your back against the wall, and started slowly pulling yourself up. It's a little bit cramped because the width is not as great as the height, but you manage to flip yourself upside down, holding onto the walls like a cat clawing into the fine stonework. As you look down, you see the person starts to walk through beneath you, and as he looks around, with the little bit of light he has, the little candle, he kind of like flicks it forward a little bit to try and see what's ahead of him. I can't believe I'm doing this shit again. It's way
How
too
far
hard.
ahead is he?
He's directly under you at the minute. And he's currently like looking out into the darkness. Go on, just the quicker you get it done, the better. Yeah,
With a limited amount of space, there's no way for me to sneak inside, is there?
You need him to move back at least a little bit more, and then you can drop down in the very fine space between him and the door and slip through. As of the moment, he's currently looking out into the darkness, for whatever this thing was that had scratched the door. His keys are ready in his hand.
How smooth are the walls? Is there any loose grout or pebbles or anything like that?
It's been made very recently, so it's pretty fine stone.
There's no small, a tiny piece.
All I'm saying is you're a monk.
Clay.
Check your inventory.
I am. I don't want to throw daggers in the distance.
Let me just double check. 'Cause if you don't have them, I'll be disappointed.
Rope. More stuff.
You
This is solid.
You don't have ball bearings. What kind of monk are you?
My character is wearing some, if you look at the art.
That does not count, mister. You've thrown it as soul gem.
I had Thunder Wave?
Yeah, because of your warlock stuff.
I did not know I had that.
Oh, ignore that.
No, I don't have anything to throw. What's in an explorer's pack?
You don't have like a coin or something?
You've got a dice set.
I don't want to throw an actual item. If I chuck something in the distance, if they find it, like a dice or a coin or anything like that, they'll know someone is there. That's why I was hoping for something natural, something around, a pebble or anything like that.
Well, I'll give you one weak possibility. You could attempt to scrape something off of the wall with...
I was thinking that, but that would make noise.
It would.
And, oh, wait, throwing would be an action, right?
Mm-hmm.
And doing an action will make me visible.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, I can't.
This is a rough one for you.
I'm just gonna wait and see and just hope this guy goes a little further down here.
So a couple of seconds go by and he's still waving the light at the darkness. And then your ears do kind of perk up for a second as you hear the sound of something in the distance moving. Something very small, skittering very gently. And then this guy kind of gets spooked for a second and he drops the candle on the ground. So, as it drops on the ground, he steps forward and picks it up. Leans down, picks it up. Make I'll say a dexterity saving throw for the concept of what this is right now. As he lowers himself down, there's enough room for you to attempt to drop and sling yourself through the door. But if you're not careful, you'll either land... Sorry, go ahead.
I could drop and quickly grab the top of the door frame and swing through the door, or I'll fall literally on him. Who did the recap?
Was...
I did.
Did Mozzie? Did you keep inspiration?
Ah, no, you need the inspiration, take it. I already have one.
Can we do that, Lee, since
Yeah.
I just used it?
Yeah, of course, it's always been the case.
Okay, I've got it back now. Thank you, Lee. Thank you, Mozzie.
You're welcome.
I do not want to fall on my arse on this guy.
I was going to say. Okay. So, do you want to stick with that, or...?
No, I'm going to use inspiration. I don't think 12 will do it.
Okay, not bad.
Okay, Lee, be honest. Would 12 have done it or not?
No.
Oh, phew.
It was a minimum of 15 just because of the precariousness of the situation and the delicacy of the technique, even though you're a monk. If it were anyone else, they would have probably failed anyway. So, Luckily, a flash of inspiration and so on and so forth, you drop down just enough that you manage to push your feet back into the wall, clinging lightly, your elbows into the other side of the wall, grab onto the top part of the door with one hand, throw your legs through, grab and free your right hand, grabbing with your left the top part of the door, and throw yourself into the doorway, just quiet enough that the only sound you make is this gentle little scrape along the ground. As you land, the guy in front of the door stands up with the candle, shakes it around a little bit, the light's still there. He goes, oh, phew. The two over here, they are looking over toward you, but their eyes are clearly not on you. And as they're looking outside, they're like, oh, come on, just close the door and go. You're making a noise and a ruckus. And the guy gets his keys and closes the door, slowly locks it. And then you hear his footsteps retreat into the distance.
Okay, so he's locked it. Wait, did he lock it on the other side?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, shit!
Mm-hmm. What, did you think he wasn't going to lock you in?
I'm sure he'll come back. Either way, I'll explore.
Okay.
Either way, I've got like 4 or 5 minutes until the spell wears off.
Yes, indeed.
Okay, so I'll just see who's in these. Ooh!
So, there are iron bar doors. There are keyholes in them. They look like they slide more so than open forward or backward. Immediately as you walk through, this figure is sat down in a bundle of straw. His face is a little blemished. There's little bits of stains of red and little stains of what look to be like dirt in separate places, and some parts of his neck you see little bits of scratches and scarring. Unlike the usual Jinsei focus of having like a ponytail, you see his has been severed. There is what looks to be like a spread open, almost like an open flower of hair at the back of his head that's just been left to become dishevelled. He, as far as you can tell, looks to be disgraced in some way. He still has some parts of the regalia worn, but all it really is the red shirt and a part of a damaged pauldron on his shoulder. You can see that same shoulder is some kind of broken or dislodged, as his arm is laying slack at his side. He has no weapons from what you can see, and he looks defeated as he's laying against the wall.
Alright, so a Jinsei with a cut ponytail. Is that a Theron customary thing? Or not?
I'd say make... What do you have proficiency in in history?
So, our proficiencies are saving throws, strength, dexterity, in skills, acrobatics, athletics, intimidation, and stealth.
Okay.
Don't know.
Make a general intelligence check. Not bad. So, with an educated guess, each of them have this ponytail-like thing going on, and obviously most of them wear the armor. It's not... When they're acting as a warrior for Theron, they always wear the armor if they are on duty. Judging the general look of this guy, he had done something to disgrace himself, and the only reason he's even allowed to keep the armor is probably because his superior isn't here to strip him of it. The fact he's had his ponytail severed could mean either he himself did it in rebellion to what he had to do, or his next in line commanding officer severed it for him and allowed him to be taken here, or someone severed it as part of the same group and he eventually found himself here captured waiting for punishment from someone higher up. Either way, he has done something to disgrace whatever the Jinsei Code of Honor would demand. And
Okay.
with the look on his face, it spells regret.
Alright, so by the looks of it, the expedition aren't just keeping him here. He's here because the Jinsei want him here. Okay. So I'll look over to the next cells. Fish person, yeah, understand why they're here. This guy looks familiar.
It's another bugbear. Hobgoblin, sorry, not bugbear. He has just basic level common clothes, basic plaid white shirt, these basic brown, horrible looking, scruffy, some kind of like almost boar skin like shorts. He's been stripped of anything important or anything he could use. You see he's like pacing back and forth, stroking his chin. With the musculature and the general like size and height of him, he looks like he's some kind of captain level creature, possibly for the Arginum Horde. He looks like he's not scheming per se, but focusing on something important to himself.
Okay. And here?
So this door is actually locked, but for the sake of visual context I left it unlocked for now. This guard is currently just sat down on a chair, just looking forward. He's like currently literally looking at his fingers. They're held up in front of his face, and he's like pulling out little pieces of dirt from them. You do see a little keychain dangling from his hip in front of his lap.
Okay, this guy can open the gate here. Okay, I'm gonna head back down here. Is there any sign of paperwork or anything here? Or not?
Looking at it, there is a small piece of paperwork on the barrel in front of you. They're kind of like messy for the most part. It looks like it was done in a hand that's not used to it. As you kind of... Yep.
Without touching them, can I glean any information from them?
Yeah. They look to be like less than official documents, but official enough for where you are. It's basically pretty much just basic parchment. 3 pieces of parchment. One of them states it's Jorno, Jorno, one of the Jinsei members. He was brought in under armed guard, though he didn't show any. He didn't show like he was trying to resist. The only notes that is written underneath, and it literally says notes, is does not respond when questioned, still eats food, is awaiting transfer by the Jinsei. The second one literally just says fish person ? Then underneath that you see it says Sahagin with quotation marks. Underneath that, again, notes. Took some gear off of it. It carried a weird net with baubles. Took its trident and some weird smelling fish food that it brought with it. We've kept it just in case one of the dignitary lot want to touch it or whatever they do. It's literally the notes. The final page is about the hobgoblin. It literally just says hobgoblin. Underneath that it says ex-captain of some kind, and the notes are gets easily irritable, does not respond to questioning other than with aggression, will eat food if it's meat only, gets very aggressive about vegetables, has not seen Elmelise yet. I don't trust his chances against her.
Alright. If I try and take one of these papers, would that make me visible?
No.
No, okay. Can I gently try and take the page that mentions Giorno?
Mm-hmm.
And at the moment it gets the attention of these guys, I stop. So be very careful.
Make a sleight of hand check. You can do this one with advantage due to the situation being a little more tame.
Oh, also, would the page become invisible if I take
Mm-hmm.
it or not?
Yep.
Okay.
Nice. Definitely needed it. So you lean. You kind of like stand in front of it, watching the pair of them. Your hand glances back. You look back just enough that you can see where your hand is going. You slowly grab the corner of the page and then pull it into one of your back pockets. And very quickly it fades with you as it disappears into invisibility. Because just for context, you obviously can't see yourself too well, but you know your general spacing. And you see the page disappear.
Okay. By looking at these guys, do they have keys on them or anything?
The one stood directly in front of you, or sat directly in front of you even. You can see there's a pair of keys directly on the table in front of him. He's currently got a set of cards in his hand, and you're not too sure what they're playing, but he's got a couple of queens and an ace. The guy to his left is like resting closer toward the barrels than he is anything else. His eyes are like diagonal toward where the dagger is on the table, and he's just currently looking over his cards, just flicking them around a little bit.
Okay, good. So at least these guys have keys to the door. So I'm going to try the same trick again. On the corner, just like lightly scratch the door again in the hopes that they do the same thing.
Their eyes kind of flick up for a second. You see they both kind of like stand up and look under the table for a second, then look over toward the door. You don't think he seriously lost a game of catch with a cat, do you? The mercenary just kind of shrugs and sits back down. I don't have to. Stands up, walks over, looks at the door. You see as he walks over, he pulls out one of the slabs that would make up the window, pokes a candle through the door, just kind of looks out. No, I don't see anything out there.
At this point, Varnix is crouched, like trying to keep a slight distance.
Yeah, I think he's just being a buffoon and stumbling around in the dark. He pulls the candle back in, pushes the slab back through the window. He goes back to sit down.
As he's turning back, I do the scratch noises again on the door.
He immediately stops as he's just about to get past this chair. Kind of slowly turns around, comes back, grabs, with a quick motion, grabs at the block, looks out with his own just basic eyes and just goes, "Where the fuck is that noise coming from?" You see he starts to look around the room, push the block back into the window, and his eyes start scanning over here, and you see he's going to start pathing his way across to you.
Can I just take a gentle step back? Just a gentle in case he reaches anything. I'm just being very cautious.
He's slowly moving your way, just like looking around. You see he pushes the chair out of the way, slides it underneath the table, looks underneath the table. He turns and looks to the wall to his left, looks around and looks at the roof for a second. You think this place is gonna fall in or something? It seems. Don't know where the hell that noise is coming from. Turns around and starts moving again, looking around underneath the table, inching ever so close to you. And what do you do? As you see, he's still walking toward you.
I'm just gonna gently put my back against the wall and slightly edge. Well, the problem is my token can only go across squares, unlike your guy who can move like millimeters by millimeters. I just want to gently just rub my back against, like in between here.
If you hold Alt and drag your token about, you can.
Oh, got it.
Yeah.
I got it. Yeah. So basically, as I see him inching to me, I am just gently inching back. Dude, get the fuck away from me!
So it fully takes a step forward, and he's like looking at the wall at this point, and then just shakes his head. I have no idea. Kind of struts back around, grabs his chair, throws it back a little bit, and just has a casual sit down.
I am literally stuck. Please tell me this guy has fallen asleep or something.
You see, he's like still twiddling with his fingers. He's a little bit drowsy. He's like just there, just trying to fill the time at this point. He's like slowly slouching in his chair.
Oh, let me think, what can I do? I'm legit looking to get everything I've got. Evasion, what does that do?
It's not useful for this.
Yes, I can say that. I'm literally stuck.
So,
Military rank, can I pull rank on these guys?
is that from your background?
Yeah.
I mean, maybe. You would have to explain why you're here, but if you can word it right, who knows?
If worse comes to it, I can bullshit my way out.
Yeah, pretty much.
But they will definitely tell Reginald unless I tell them to keep their mouth shut. Okay, it took me 10 to 15 minutes to get down here, but it took me a while because I was checking for traps. So at best, I could easily get out of here. Like, if I was on the other side of the door, it would take me less than 5 minutes to get out, wouldn't it?
Yep.
So at best, I've got 30 minutes. So what I'm going to do is, which way does this door open? Does it open this way or this way?
It opens to your left.
Okay, so it's open towards this area. Alright, so I'm just going to hang around here for 20-25 minutes at most.
Okay.
In the hope that person comes back.
Let's see if luck be a lady. Roll a d20. So, you're sat there tenderizing in, not worry exactly, but maybe slowly increasing annoyance as you come to realize this guy's kind of just disappeared on a wild goose chase for an animal you're pretty sure isn't there. It gets to about half an hour and you still don't hear anything. These guys are like still just sat there, kind of like they got bored of their card game at one point and now they're just messing around with things that are on the table. One of them's made a drink for himself and is just like taking sips every now and again. You can see they're incredibly bored.
So the guy's not back there, and I'm still here.
Yep.
Crap! I've got 10, 15 minutes max until I'm visible. Okay, I go back up. Please tell me this guy has fallen asleep or something.
So as you come back up, you can see what look to be like his arms have fallen down into his lap, and you see his like eyes are blinking faintly. There is little bit of a lazy eye going on. He's like trying to blink himself awake still. He's just looking forward toward the door as if that's the only thing that matters. And then you see the eyes kind of like lolling, and then he flicks them open again, and lulling. And after about another 2 minutes of just observing, you see his head kind of like falls backward into a roll. And you hear this very quiet, just breathing. His eyes are covered by the helm, but you're pretty sure you can just see them closed.
Oh, thank fuck. Can I gingerly take the key off him?
Let me just check a thing real quick. Yeah, make a sleight of hand check. With advantage. I said that a bit late, but it is still the case.
I'll roll it one more time and we take the higher one.
Yes. So you gingerly grasp at the key ring and slowly pull it around until it meets the slotted area, and slowly pull the ring free. As you pull the ring free, you are delicate as a flower with this operation. There is a single key jangle before you grasp a hold of it and silence it. You then hear "Ulak, Uyanda," as you see one of the arms and one of the ears tucked between the bars. As you see the hobgoblin looking through, and he's obviously looking toward the guard, but for a second you're concerned he's looking at you.
No, I'm invisible.
And his eyes are intrigued. "Udat!" And then he starts to get louder. "That's it!" And you see the guard in front of you, his eyes start to twitch a little bit underneath the blanket of his eyelids. He's waking up.
Well, do I have the key?
You seem to. There seems to be 3 keys on his chain.
Can I hold the keys, like all 3 of them together so they don't jangle?
Mm-hmm.
I'm just going to try and take a step back and just wait a moment.
The hobgoblin starts making louder noises in his own tongue. You see the guard's head starts to stand too, and he starts to rub his temple a little bit. And as he looks around, he sees the door is still untouched. He looks over toward the hobgoblin and he starts to stand up. He starts to move forward.
Am I able to put my back against the wall without him touching me?
Yeah.
Or not? Or is there enough space?
It'd be a very quick and delicate thing, but you quickly just throw yourselves like chin far away as possible.
I would prepare that thing because I know that he's waking up, so it wouldn't have to be quick.
So as he walks past, stands in front of the cell, you see he like pushes the hand of the hobgoblin back. Oh, what noise? I was having a sleep, you fucking arsehole. What do you want? Udaspa! And you see the hobgoblin is like pointing down toward his lap. You see the guards confused and seemingly not paying attention because it's just a hobgoblin. It's someone that's trying to distract him or something. He's just, what do you want? I don't understand. Just pointing. I don't even know why I try.
Are these areas lit by candles?
There are these little torchlights that are held suspended about 6 feet above you.
So there's no way for me to put them out, are there?
Not without raising a question.
If it's a torch, it's not like a candlelight, it's an actual stick that's a flame. So blowing it out won't make him go out.
It's held suspended by essentially a little like bowl, and there's a little like candle inside of that that's covered. The stick itself is like covered by dirt to make it look a degree natural, and the light just kind of emanates out of the bowl itself. So it's covered essentially. Unless you doused it somehow from above.
Now there's no one for me to put the torch out. Am I able to just gently unlock this gate?
Make another sleight of hand check. Pick a key. I will say if you want to try to determine what key it is, make a... I'll say general intelligence again.
Intelligence to determine which key?
Mm-hmm. Which key looks right? Okay. So, of the 3 keys there is... As you quickly look down toward the slot, there's what looks to be like this triangular shape, and the circle is in the middle. As you kind of like quickly flick through the keys, 2 of them do kind of look like it, but one of them's a lot smaller. So quickly grab that one, keeping your hand taut on the key so they don't jangle. Insert the key. Make a sleight of hand check. As you begin turning the door, the latch does go. You fully hear the sound of a clunk. And the guard's head quickly swivels around and looks over. And as he's looking over, he looks confused. And then you see from over there, as he's looking over toward you, but not seeing you, his eyes are concerned and curious as he knows that sound. But in that same vein, you very quickly see a large, very much like bladed, nailed hand reach through the bars and grab him by the throat and slam his head against the door. And this guy is immediately knocked unconscious. You then see as this hand is like grabbing at this person, pulling him toward the gate, and he's like looking him over, patting him down for the key.
As I alerted the other guys down there.
Not that you can see just yet. Do you finish opening the door?
Yeah, I open the door.
Okay.
Because I can see he's looking for the keys, which aren't there.
So, as the door opens and you gingerly push it, there is this small second of like a crunching sound, but then you slip through as quick as possible, push the door to. Do you lock it behind you?
Yes.
Okay, so with the door locked, you then hear the sounds of heavy footfalls from behind the door, as seemingly the other 2 guards come rushing along. As the door is locked, what do you want to do with the key?
I can't chuck them back because I'll see it. I'll just keep a hold of the keys and just quickly make my way out.
Okay.
I'll dump them somewhere.
Okay. So.
You lost him then.
Yeah, Muzzy's probably gone bed. Probably just didn't want to interrupt. Oh, or he's... Oh, okay, never mind then.
I believed in you, Mussy.
I believe.
Lee didn't, but I did.
Hey, look. All I assumed was he was human.
Nah,
Well,
the
we
computer
don't
decided to... Aye.
To poop its pants.
Yes, exactly.
So Varnix does a prison escape with a bare nick of time, as though I wouldn't imagine you'd like be counting the seconds per se, you know the general timing, that you've got roughly like 10 minutes worth of the spell left. As you head upstairs, you come up to, let me just double check, because I have to remind myself of where this is. So 1, 2. I'll figure out the general directions of that at some point. But you come up to pretty much right in front of the meeting grounds again, the meeting room. And as you look around, this place is pretty much empty now. There's still sparse amount of moonlight that's lighting the floor in the entranceway. Most of the
My
doors.
map is
Oh yeah,
map
no.
is currently black. Sorry.
Yeah. I've taken your token off of that screen.
Okay, so I'm back in the meeting room where we were at before.
No, you are at the place in front of the meeting room in that building. Let me just try to get your token because it's misbehaving for some reason. There we go. So you would be over
Back in the
here.
tavern.
So your character would be over here. Full context. This place is currently pitch black. All of the rooms would be closed because it is getting close to dark. There would be maybe 1 or 2 people you can hear moving outside that are keeping perimeter. Otherwise, most people have gone to bed by this point. But, for the sake of context, I'm going to call it there, because it's already late enough and I'm pretty sure Mosey is dying of the deprivation of sleep.
Would it be possible for me to make my way back to the barracks or anything like that?
Yeah, absolutely. With, like, even 9 minutes, you'd get there in, like, barely 2-3.
Alright, so, well, let's say we end it where I just make it back in time.
Mm-hmm.
Alright.
And I'll say, maybe not in real sense, but I'd like to think somewhere in your barracks, since you're all generally within the same space, there's just this sinister giggling happening in a certain Asta's room. Obviously.
Yeah.
I was going to say,
like Doofy.
with a degree of realism in that. As her and Gol would spend a lot of the night tinkering in preparation.
Tinkering.
Mm.
Yeah.
We will continue next time. For simplicity, in case for some weird reason I forget, the laboratory will be made available the next day. There will be a couple of hours that will pass before everything is exactly ready. You are given, I think it's the second floor where potions and the like are made. You'll be given a separate room for yourself. It will be bare minimal for the time being as they have to redistribute resources to you. But that will be fully given to you and Gull.
Nice.
I don't know if there was anything else left out, but that's basically that for this week. Oh, Stefan, your ability score or feat?
Ability score. I can't be bothered with feats right now.
Okay. That is very fair.
Let's see. What should I do?
Should you do? What should you say? La 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 la.
So yeah, we'll continue with a new day next week, and we will see what mischief everybody gets up to. I'll just move your tokens all centrally somewhere. Right, well that'll be that, lads.